Hey guys, this is the Week 10 update. I broke my camera stand. We're gonna do it this way. Let's go. Every week there seems to be another major injury. This week is Julian Edelman going down for basically the entire fantasy year. That sucks for Al, who's trying to make a playoff push, but everyone seems to have dealt with their own injuries or adversity this year so far, so we'll see how Al deals with it himself. Last week's game of the week was Kevin versus Eric. Kevin was able to get the win with huge performances from both Jeremy Langford and Matt Jones. And speaking of Kevin, he was also the high scorer of the week for the first time this year, scoring 129 points. Your low scorer, on the other hand, was Greg, only scoring 52 points. Both his running backs were unable to score one full point. I'm so glad we voted to make the schedule change so that all the division games are at the end of the season, or at least the end of the season is divisional game heavy. It's made a huge difference in terms of how important these games are. Every single game seems to make a huge difference in terms of who's going to make the playoffs or who doesn't make the playoffs. Last week was a huge playoff implication week, and this week is definitely no exception. This week, there's two games to watch that are both the games of the week. First, you have Al versus Craig in the Premium Division. That game has huge playoff implications. I think it's going to be very close. It'll be interesting to see who can win. Al has some guys coming back from injury, but also just lost Julian Edelman, so it should be close. In the Light Division, I will say it's myself versus Eric, who are both 5-5, trying to get that fourth playoff spot right now. Not to mention, though, Kevin, he's 6-3, just above us, so very, very tight race in both divisions, and both these games have serious playoff implications. I had one holla at your boy question on Twitter this week at Ask MBFFL, and it comes from @Dan the Cider Man. He asks, please explain Favre Forever Purple's fanhood. Is he a Vikings fan first and then a Packers fan? How is he rooting this weekend? So that is a good question. I mean, I was very confused myself when I first started working with Kevin. So actually, yeah, he's a Vikings fan first. He grew up in Minnesota, I guess, and then moved to Green Bay, like right by the stadium, and all of a sudden became a Packers fan as well. So he got to root for the Packers during their best years, but at heart he is a Vikings fan first, so I can assure you he is rooting for the Vikings this weekend, and he says that he is open to taking any and all side bets, so feel free to make side bets with Kevin on who you think will win this weekend. And that's it for this week's Office Wrap-Up for Week 10. I'll see you guys next week.